You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts
right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, my God, the WNBA, the personnel involved in the negotiations for the WNBA, the WNBA PA, they are destined to wreck any momentum this league has built over the last 2 years. All this newfound popularity, the new media rights deal, coming off the Iowa run, Caitlin Clark into the league, ratings skyrocket, and they're going to blow it all. And keep in mind two key factors before we get into this, as we're headed towards a lockout. It looks like we are headed towards a potential lockout in the WNBA CBA negotiations. Number one, they turned down 4 times the amount of salary that they're currently making. Again, I had done the math with the new media rights deal. Yeah, they should have gotten a 2.5 to 3 times raise. Look, the WNBA said, we'll give you 4 times. That means a Supermax contract goes from $250,000 to $1 million. $1 million. Keep in mind, there are times I watch these games right now without Caitlin Clark and now without Sophie Cunningham, and they're almost unwatchable. They're pretty bad. Last night, that Lynx Fever game, it felt like it was on for 5 hours. All right? Sometimes the basketball just isn't very good. But no, we want more money. The second thing I want you to keep in the back of your mind is that the 2 VPs that are involved with the Players Association, the Players Union, Breonna Stewart and Nafisi Collier are co-owners of the Unrivaled Professional Basketball League, direct competitors of the WNBA. It's unbelievable. It really is. This is nuts. This is front office sports. Ooh, it's getting late early, folks. It is. The WNBA and the Women's National Basketball Players Association have just over 60 days to ratify a new CBA, and it looks increasingly likely that the October 31 deadline will come and go without a deal. Wow. I mean, look, their attendance is going way up. They're making all this money from franchise fees. All this stuff has got the momentum of the league. And if this league has a lockout, it's going to come to a screeching halt. Again, people forget, I'm old enough to remember the 1994 Major League Baseball lockout. Holy shit. It took Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds to save baseball in 1998 during the home run chase, because baseball was in the toilet for 4 years after a lockout. WNBA, you're not Major League Baseball. You're not. I mean, seriously, most of your games are still crushed by, say, the WWE in ratings. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. You're not even close to getting the ratings that PGA majors are getting, and a lot of times the smaller tournaments. It seems that these players may have gotten too big for their britches. One source familiar with negotiations tells Front Office Sports that an extension of that deadline will likely be necessary to avoid an immediate work stoppage. Quote, the players are working diligently to achieve a transformational CBA that builds on growth, momentum, and positive news surrounding women's sports and the W. Look, this is still because of one player. I mean, let's be real. Somebody put up something regarding attendance the other day, and it was still the Indiana Fever leading that charge. People have tried to stay as engaged as best they can with the Indiana Fever, so the decline of the ratings has been slower for that team. I don't know if anybody's noticed. The Fever's ratings have went way down. I mean, no coincidence. I think Caitlin Clark's about to come back. That was a comment per WNBPA Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson said in a statement of Front Office Sports. As we approach the 60-day deadline mark, the league's lack of urgency leaves players wondering if it is focused on making this work or just running out the clock. Fans do not want that. They are with the players in demanding a new standard for the W. That was the Players Association saying the fans are with the players. Are they? Are they? Because I'm sorry, most fans know the fact that this league's never turned a profit, very aware of it. They know this league's been subsidized by NBA owners in order to keep it alive, and they now know you've turned down a 4-time salary increase. I wouldn't be so sure that the fans are in the corners of these players right now. A lot of fans might go, y'all are looking pretty selfish right about now. Just pointing that out. Especially when you know this is all on the back of one player that y'all treat like shit, by the way. There, I said it. If both sides fail to reach an agreement by October 31st deadline, there are multiple paths forward. A brief extension of the last CBA, which would need to be agreed upon by both parties, would prevent a work stoppage and allow the sides to continue negotiating. In 2019, the league and the union agreed to a 60-day extension, announced in a joint statement 3 days before the deadline. Ultimately, negotiations were completed in January before free agency. Unlike 2019, the league is up against expansion with 2 new franchises, the Toronto Tempo, what a terrible name, and Portland Fire, that's a pretty good name, set to begin play in 2026. In 2024, the league held an expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries on December 7, over a month before free agency was set to begin. The league is yet to produce rules or a date for the upcoming expansion draft. It will be impossible to do so without a CBA because the expansion and free agency are dictated by the agreement. No advertisement, please. Another possibility is a work stoppage in the form of a lockout or strike. The league has never lost games to a work stoppage. However, in 2023, the WNBA draft and preseason schedule was slightly delayed. The league has repeatedly expressed its commitment to staying at the negotiating table for as long as is required to reach a, quote, transformational new CBA. The players' priorities include improved revenue sharing structure, improved benefits, roster expansion, and league-wide workplace standards. And one of the problems is, and it goes on to talk about them awful shirts they wore at the All-Star game, and then they went out and they played like shit during the All-Star game, made themselves look really bad, and fans were like, pay you what you're owed? Pay us for watching this. I mean, seriously. It was awful. They didn't bother to even show up defensively. God, this league is full of really, really unlikable players, if you want to know the truth. Bad attitudes, continuously mad all the time. They beat the crap out of each other on the court. The referees are terrible. I mean, it's just rough. It's a league that thinks it's truly like, one of the big four, when I've said it's like, double A baseball or something like that. The way it feels, double A baseball may be run better than this league, frankly. I mean, in some aspects, probably, frankly. it's they're going to mess around and screw this up. They're going to screw this up, and I got to be honest, after how Caitlin Clark's been treated, the coach that the Fever has, all of this, there's been in her injury and being out as long as she's been out, boy, they are flirting with danger. You got all these media networks that just spent all this money on this league, and they're wanting this revenue sharing thing. They want it set up because they, like the NBA, you can't do that. There's investors beside, and the NBA's involved. There's investors involved. The split's not the same. Math is the kryptonite of this league. Economics is the kryptonite of this league. These players, anyway. Tell me what you think. They're gonna bleep this whole thing up. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.